Welcome back to Indian Trace. Well, how should I begin this to set this up? First, I'm going to tell you what this video is going to be about. Of course, these 10 points, but 10 uncommon points. I have grabbed these because I keep them in the very bottom of my display box because their size is very uncommon. And the materials that I found them made out of, and their styles, 3 different aspects, are very uncommon for where I am. They just really puzzle you. And I've kept them just because of that, because they're so uncommon. So I might title it 10 Uncommon. Thanksgiving is upon us. Of course, it was yesterday, but really the Thanksgiving season really moves right into Friday. I get to have Friday off. I did go out to Crystal Beach today and didn't find a whole lot. But we're going to check these out. I'm going to make a mention of some of them. Talk to you about them. These are points that are from my display. Pieces, of course, as I mentioned, to me, really uncommon stuff, which means as I go around these, I have never found 2 that are close to being alike. Nothing that's close to being like one of the points that you're going to see right here. And that's why they're so uncommon to me. So I just was going to share them on Thanksgiving. I hope everybody out there had a good holiday or having a good holiday. I really don't get into the whole brain frame of going on shopping frenzies. Many things about that, many things about materialism are, how should I say, distasteful to me. I think American material culture has hurt lots of things. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm using a digital camera. We are able to share artifacts in a modern digital way that we could have never done without it. So look at the colors in that. Came from W Properties. Just a really uncommon point. They were working this stone. It probably was hard to work. So I don't necessarily think these are really crude either. Some of them, a lot of people who have really high quality flint and everything will look at these and maybe think something else of them, but there's qualities that are worthwhile. The people who made these thought it was worthwhile to make an effort. And I mean, some of the flint around here just does not exist around here. It must have been traded in, like this piece from Mecca. Uncommon found. Just a little nick off the tip, but that's fine. Just really incredible. Some of this flint does exist around here, but it must have been traded in. That was a really uncommon point to find. So, in the holidays, I hope families have been able to touch base with each other, and I've gotten to know so many stories from the people who watch Indian Trace out there about their families and what have you, and hey, I'm always open to making that effort. And Rob, I will say this to you because I know you watch these. Thanks for the small text. Happy Thanksgiving. I bridge no barriers in a video. It doesn't matter to me one way or another. It's just easy for me to put that out there. I was not able on Thanksgiving to text you back, but I appreciate that greeting on Thanksgiving. This was found at Sun Hill, on the split side of Sun Hill, which is important for me to find. As a matter of fact, Rob, it's a place that you were with me with. It's a great point. And the word uncommon comes up. Never found anything like any of the ones that I'm showing you here. Nothing like it. Which means, as we're looking at these, at least for here in eastern central North Carolina, to me, the material, the style, the size is really uncommon to me. But that's okay. That's what makes them unique, and I put them in there. It's a nice point. It's a nice artifact. This point here from Notchville. And I found a lot at Notchville, but nothing like this. Sort of a Pickwick type, but it's so sort of worked and ground off the base of this. Smooth as can be. Even on the place, I guess you say they snapped it, just smooth as can be there. And slightly different material that I'm used to seeing out there. A lot of rhyolite out there, lots of quartz. But this piece came up. I could take you to the exact spot of every one of these artifacts that I found, especially the ones in my display box. Never forget. This was an uncommon piece. Now let's look. Here's a point. Fairly recent thing, I think 2015 in Mecca. That was a subordinate artifact in the video. I remember that. It wasn't the feature piece, but just a marble mountain, long base, unique style, and unique material. Just very uncommon. So I'll often set those aside, and these are really imaginative pieces, just really different. I mean, look at this piece. Found that at Riverdale. Must have been 4 years ago. Nothing, never found anything like it. I mean, sure, this one coming up, similar, not even close to the same place, or this similar flint. This is real smooth type of variety. They're all slightly different for sure, come from a different stock of rock. Very similar though. Never found at one point, not even anything made of this material at Riverdale. Unique as can be. Just great artifacts here. This point was one of the first Guilfords that I found at the garden just last year. I felt like it was an old Guilford, might not be at all. Well, all Guilfords are old, don't get me wrong on that. But just early archaic, I was thinking, just because this has quartz inclusions. You see that the light flickering off that? The quartz in there. Don't know if the light's hitting it right. And it was relieved here, and just it helped me to realize, you know, when you're discovering a site, that indeed that was probably going to be some kind of site. So that was just super unique. You know, you guys have found artifacts with fossils in them. So you want to talk about dispensations. How long did it take to form that fossil here on the earth with living organisms? And then they took the stone, the core stone, and made these artifacts how long ago? I mean, the dispensational timeline just continues to stretch out and challenge our spirituality. It challenges our intellect, which is also fun to me. This is a point that I found out in Site 4. Never found anything like it. And I've been back to this site and found this is not a named site because I found relatively nothing. I found enough evidence to make me go back there someday, but I mean, I really worked hard to see if there's anything that would repeat this kind of thing, but nothing there. Completely unique point right here. All of these, just unique, uncommon. Here's a point as we get ready to close. Found a hidden alley. If you felt it, it's very granular, this material. Can't tell you how young or how old, whether it's early archaic or archaic. I know it's probably one of the two. I can't even speak for anything that lends itself to the paleo, but I do know that it's probably pegged as early archaic. But look at the size of this thing. A lot of people believe all of these that they're looking at, for the majority, are knives. Well, I believe that their food was ultimately the very, very most important thing that they could attain. And putting any of these armor-piercing tips on the end of some forceful shafts and what have you would do some serious damage, which they needed to do. With wolf or bear or whatever, they knew how to trap and they knew how to get things, but they would only wound them. Look at this last piece from, that was North Gillfield, Site 1. And they would often wound animals, not the kill shot. And then they have to go in to make the kill. How do you think they made that kill? I mean, they had knives on halves and what have you, but they didn't go in, they didn't get any closer than they had to. When you're talking about a wild animal that's mad and upset, it would maim, and getting maimed is not something they were willing to accept easily. So they had to put the kill on them. And how they do that, you get a lot of things that I think are just such mysteries. I do never presume that I know really how it was working. This is a great piece. Never found a piece like this in that place. Nothing like it. It was a unique sort of rhyolite. Crazy piece. Crazy piece. Anyway, these are 10 uncommon points for me, for sure, on Indian Trace. Something to be thankful for in this Thanksgiving weekend. And I hope that you have something that you can be thankful for. As always, hope you find out there. Be well.